Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Benjamin Dalby Leksander Doerwald, and I'm the Vice President for the DACH and Nordics market at Pyramid Analytics. Let's make it a little bit easier for everyone. Just call me Ben. If you want to connect with me, just use the QR code on the slide, and you will end up at my LinkedIn profile, so you don't have to type in all the long letters for the name. Eliminating decision chaos, or is the way we make decisions irrevocably broken? That's the topic of my speech today. But before we go deeper into that, let me give you a little bit more of background about myself. I'm actually originally German. I was born in Flensburg, which is the most northern town in Germany. Actually, my Danish friends used to say, Ben, you're actually not German. You're more Danish than German. Nowadays, that's actually true. I'm living close to Aarhus in Denmark. And when I was 18 years old, I was at a routine checkup with my dentist. And he did the x-ray and said, Ben, bad luck, but we need to remove your 4 wisdom tooth. I was not happy to hear that, but actually, it took place and I did the surgery. When I woke up afterwards, I didn't feel that well, which is actually not so untypical, but my legs were hurting. And I asked the doctor, hey, is that normal? He said, Ben, you're a tall guy. What do you think? You've been lying around for quite some time, so probably that is normal. So go home, get well. I went home. After 2 hours, I felt much worse, called the hospital again, and they immediately sent the ambulance. I found myself at the intensive care station at the hospital, and when I woke up the next day, there were quite some doctors around my bed, looking at me and said, Ben, that was tight. So what happened? I had actually taken the chance and got an allergic reaction to the combination of the anesthesia and the muscle relaxer. The chances are actually once in 150,000. And the doctor, could he have known it? The answer actually is yes and no. Because the data was there in the blood sample in the laboratory system, but it wasn't fully presented in the clinical system. Those days, the systems weren't so connected, especially in Germany. So, since that, I'm on a mission to enable people to make smarter, better decisions with data. So it was no wonder when the CEO of Pyramid Analytics called me and said, Ben, do you want to join us at Pyramid Analytics in becoming the first decision intelligence platform? And he explained a little bit more to me, but I was immediately hooked and I was immediately in. I will come to what is a decision intelligence platform a little later, but first let's reflect the market, and therefore I want to take 3 aspects. One is the business user, the other one is the data scientist, and the third ones I'm going to look at are the middlemans, the IT people. So let's look at the business users. We did, over the last 2 decades, a tremendous job in helping companies getting more information faster and in a more visual format. But somewhat, statistics shows in the last 2 years, the adoption rate of analytics is stagnating around the 30%. Adoption rate means actually people are not using what is produced in business intelligence or analytics for their daily decision-making processes. And then if you ask the employees, they are complaining that there is not enough collaboration within the organizations. And if you then ask the executives, those guys will tell you that they actually have just not achieved the transformational outcomes in becoming a data-driven company. Just 30% will tell you that they are somewhat okay on that mission. Let's switch the coin. Let's go to another seat. Let's talk about the data scientists. If we look at these guys, which are really highly sophisticated and really focusing on very complex problems, it is still given that almost all of the data science projects, developing algorithms for forecasting, for other classifications and so on, are disconnected to the business. So they're running independently or separately to the business. And we all know there is a market which is called the war for talent market. So almost half of the enterprise organizations tell that they can't find the right people to do the data science. And then, okay, I got an error here, but it's not on the screen, that's good. And then the other thing is, which is even more frustrating, once you've found the data scientist, they will tell you that it's really hard for them to understand the subject-related data. Because how could they? They are not bookkeepers, they are not procurement guys, they are not salespeople. So actually, there is a missing link. These guys need some explanation. So what does it mean if this number goes up? Is it good or bad? And then they can work with the data, of course. But currently, half of them are still complaining that it's tricky to really get the meaning of the subject-related data. Let's take the third person to the party, the IT people, the middleman. So are we empowering all types of users in our organization? It is actually true that in all enterprise organizations, we do have BI departments, we do have analytical people. And these people create analysis, they create dashboards every day in, day out. Most of them deal with a huge backlog. But if you ask them, what is actually the dashboard or the number that is mostly consumed by the users, which is actually used in the business, you will look into blank faces. Because it's tricky to understand in that let's say, big lake of analytics, what is actually consumed and what is not. So, are we really creating a strong foundation of knowledge in the organizations? Let me pause here, because I would say we did a very good job when it comes to the top of this pyramid picture. So the first, let's say, three pieces we cover quite well. But if we go lower, then it's actually given that we have a lot of work to do still. So for smarter decisions, we need to empower the employees and bring everybody in. Science shows that every employee does on average 10 business relevant decisions on daily basis, every day. And it's quite annoying to see that still so many companies say it's tricky for us to provide good quality but also fast decisions because we know the technology is there. Even most of the organizations say that they would make better results, would create better results if they would equip the frontline workers with the right information to make this decision in time when needed. Let's go back to one point. 10 decisions per employee per day. So, that is not a problem if we are self-employed, but if we have 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 or 46,000 people in our organization, like the US Department of Veteran Affairs, then it gets quite tricky to get all the relevant information to the right people. So those guys were actually struggling with the pure amount of demand from the nurses, from the doctors, which are all doing an awesome job to help the homecoming people from the front line catching up with life, getting well again, and having a better life. On the other end, they had another big issue or challenge, so to speak. They had over 200 different data sources they had to deal with. And if you know something about the healthcare, then you know the data is always person-related, so it's highly secure information. You have to put up an enterprise security behind that. And all these kind of aspects were really tricky for them. So at the US Department of Veteran Affairs, they decided for the decision intelligence platform Pyramid Analytics to have a scalable, a simple, and a governed way to providing information to all the people in the organization. And to me, the most astonishing fact is they do this with 2 in-house business intelligence developers. Let's go back to the starting question. Is the way we make decisions irrevocably broken? I would say we did it good so far. It's not irrevocably broken, but we have to do some things different. So let me introduce to you Pyramid Analytics, the decision intelligence platform for what is next in data. What is a decision intelligence platform? Is that just another marketing slogan? Actually, it's not. There are a couple of aspects that we put 4 years when we went back into the lab and created Pyramid Analytics into consideration and into this platform. First, a good user experience on the business analytics side. Of course, you have to have that. You have to have an easy-to-use interface. But then on the heavy lifting part, we also did a couple of things. So we do have all the things you need for the data preparation side included in our platform. Let me just tell you one secret. In over 90% of our customer cases, we are not even moving the data. We leave it exactly where it sits. And that is most of the times an enterprise data warehouse. That's an SAP, BW on HANA, a Snowflake, something else. You will find some of the names in the exhibition hall. So we can connect all these different systems through our engine called Piranha and interpret the question or the KPI request directly into the language that is needed to request this information from the underlying systems. And we can blend it without moving the data. So that eliminates the whole redundancy aspect and the whole struggle with, is my data actually at the same level that the other departments are looking at, etc., etc. But there is more. And that is the data science side, which I also spoke about. So we decided to ingest ML and AI at every piece of the analytic journey, which means you can actually connect your data and instantly say, auto-analyze. You will get a suggestion for the data model. You can, from there, get directly insights through machine learning and AI algorithms. But I think one of the more important part when it comes to adoption is actually equipping the frontline workers and the people which are currently not picking up the data with the information needed where they are. because convenience is one of the most important things to add to make them able to analyze and use the data. So we equip them with textual information. What data are you presented with? We equip them with the ability to use a forecast algorithm with a single click. But not even that. We give it a meaning because they can see reverse how that algorithm would have matched with the data or with the data points that happened in the past. So they can see, is it a good or rather not a good fit for this case. And besides that, we also ingested things like natural language querying directly into Pyramid Analytics. So you have a dashboard as a starting point, like this, but you can chat with the data. You can say, can you show me this as a stack chart for my product categories? And the virtual assistant, Pyramid Analytics, will directly respond and give you the insights. These are small pictures of our analytical interface. If you want to see a little bit more, just come to our booth E14. Just want to share some results with you. On average, we achieve a 29% solution TCO reduction, which is really, really important because we can combine a lot of the functionalities that you usually find in multiple tools combined in one. We bring it into one platform. But the most important thing is we increase actually the adoption rate by, on average, 72%, which is because we address all the different user types. And that ultimately leads to faster and more accurate decision in the organizations. Our customers rate us in all the 3 big surveys on the first place, whether it's Gartner, BARC, or Dresner. If you want to have more details to that, come to our booth. We will provide you with the surveys. So if I get you with a spark of interest, again, just come to our booth. You can win an Oculus Quest 2, and you can get one of the very good Danish innovations, which is actually for the work time a USB stick, and after work a bottle opener. Thank you.